Hello Parakus, how are you doing? I hope you're doing well. So this video is about how to measure angles. I have already made a video on what are angles. So go to my channel and check out the video on angles if you have any issue in it. So for now, angle is nothing but a rotation. So this is an angle. Angle is rotation. Angle is rotation or turning of a ray from another. So this is what angle is. Now here we are to measure angles. So there is a tool which is called D, or you can call it protector. So that is basically a semicircular scale which is used to measure angles. So let me show you. So before starting to use it, let's first name its important parts. Okay, so this is nothing but a scale, but this is a semicircular scale, means this is the whole circle. Semicircular means half circle. So this is the semi. Okay, the semi means half. So this is semicircular scale or a half circle kind of a scale. So now let's name some very important parts in this protector which will help you to measure. The first thing first is this line which you can see here. Let me highlight it. This line is known as baseline. Okay, this is where you put your D on the first ray, say on the first ray. So this is the baseline. The second thing is you can see this 90-degree angle and this baseline intersects at a point, and this point is basically center of this circle or center of this protector. So this is the center. You can also name it origin. So this is where you keep the corner. Now if you have noticed, there are two scales. The first scale is this one, which is going above, this scale. The second scale is this one, which is inside basically. So this is the outer scale, and this is inner scale. So these are two scales on one protector. Now what they are used for, where we use the outer scale and where we use the inner scale, this is the question. Now if you have watched my video on angles, so I told in that the angles are basically of two kinds: the positive angles and the negative angles. So positive angles are the angles which are measured anti-clockwise. That means against the clock. So clock goes this way, this way. The hands goes this way, like this. Anti-clockwise means against the clock. So if our angles are against the clock, as you can see here, it is going against, then this is the positive angle. And if our angle goes clockwise like this, that means the ray rotates from this ray to this ray, then our angles are negative or clockwise. So clockwise and anti-clockwise. The positive angles are anti-clockwise and the negative angles are clockwise. Now I hope it's clear. So if our angles are anti-clockwise, we use this pink scale or the inner scale. So the inner scale is used for anti-clockwise angles. Okay, for example, from this base, I go, if the angle is, for example, 50, so this is the anti-clockwise, that means going against, and for that I'll be using this inner scale or inside scale. outer scale is used for measuring the clockwise angles. So now I hope that is clear. So we are to measure different angles here, and the directions are also given here. If you can see, this is directed this way, this is directed this way. So directions of angles are also mentioned here. So we are to figure out that what would be its angle. So to measure angle, as we know, we use protractor. So now let's start measuring it. So where is the protractor? So here is our protractor. So now let me tell you how to place it. So let me mention it. This is the origin, okay, and this is the baseline. So we need to take this, okay, I need to place it this way that the origin and the corner, they coincide with each other. That means it comes over one another, and the baseline should be at ray 1. So now if you see here, origin intersects with the origin of the angle, and the baseline is exactly over the first ray. Okay, so you have to make sure while you place it. Now we need to see, since we have to measure in this direction, so this is the anti-clockwise angle. So for anti-clockwise we use the inner circle, so we have to measure the rotation inside. So if you see here, so it goes, it's 20, it's 30, and it's 40, and 1 2 3 on third line. So this is after 40, it is 1 2 third line, so it is 43 degrees. So this angle is 43 degrees. An important thing is to place this small zero, which is not a zero or not a O, but the sign of degree. So this is very important. Now let's see this one, the second one. Let's place our D in the same way. Okay, now let's place it in the same way. The center of the figure, origin of the figure, and the origin of the D has coincided. Baseline is exactly on the ray 1, so it's 10 20 30 on the inner scale, since we have to measure this way: 40 50 60 70 80 and 90. So this is the 90-degree angle, and we have a special sign for the 90-degree angle, which is this square on the corner. So this is the 90-degree angle. Now let's try this third one. Let's again place our D in the same way, such that, yes, well, it was easy in this case. So now our origin is placed on the corner of the figure, and the ray 1 has coincided with the baseline of the D. Now let's measure the angle. So it is, since we have to measure anti-clockwise, so inner circle again. So 10 20 30 40 50 60 70 80 90 100 110 120 and 1 2 3. So it is 123 degree. So this angle is 123 degrees. Okay, now let's put our D on this fourth figure. Now here we cannot place our scale this way, so we need to rotate our scale. Yes, so let's rotate it this way because we have to measure. So origin coinciding the origin or the corner of the figure, and the baseline coinciding with that of there. If you notice here, so we have this origin of the D and the origin of the figure coinciding, and the ray 1 coincides with the baseline. Now it's time to measure the clockwise angle. And since I said that outer scale is used to measure the clockwise angles, so we have this outer scale here, so let's measure it. 10, 20, 30, and 1, 2, 3, so it is 33 degrees. So this angle is 33 degrees. Now let's go on to the fifth and the last figure, which is this one. So let's place it. So now it is again the coinciding, so origin of the D and that of the figure is on the same point. The ray 1 is coinciding with the base, and now it's time to measure the clockwise angle. So clockwise scale is outside, so this is 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, and this is 120. And if you just extend it, so you would 125 or 126, so it's 126 degrees. So this angle is 126 degrees. Okay, now so this is another set of problems, and here you have to draw the following angles. Let's draw it. Just mark a point. For example, this is a point. Okay, now place the D on this point. Now you know how to place it. You have to place the origin of the D in such a way that it coincides with this dot. Now we have set our protector in such a way that the point, it lies exactly on the origin. Now we have to draw 45-degree angle, which is, if it's not specified, so it's a by default positive angle or the anti-clockwise angle. Well, let me point to 0 degree and then 45. So this is 40. Here we have 40 and 5 more. So here this is the 45 point. Okay. So now I have marked 2 points here. Okay, one at 0 degree and the other is at 45 degrees. So now let's draw our line segment or lines. Okay, the first line would be from 0 to this 0 degrees. The next line would be from here up to this point. So here we have the angle of 45 degree. Clock, you can name it, let's say O X O Y. So angle, we have formed an angle O. You can name it as angle O equals to 45 degrees, or you can also say it like X O Y. Remember, this O, which is this point, should always be in the middle. It is equals to 45 degrees. Now let's start off with the second one, which is to draw 90-degree angle. So again, let's put a point, and on this point let's take our D and place the origin of the D on this point. Let's mark the 0 point, which is here, and 90 degree, which is here. So now let's draw. Okay, now so this is our first ray, drawing the other ray, which would be at 90 degree. So this is the 90-degree angle, and 90-degree angle is usually represented by a small box at the corner, so it shows the 90 degrees. Let's name it A B C. So we can name it as angle B equals to 90 degrees, or angle ABC equals to 90 degrees. Okay, now so let's practice more problems. So here we have to draw 162 degree. Let me point here. So let's say this is a point, and let's place our protector over it. This angle is anti-clockwise, that means our scale starts from this, so it would, so 160 lies here and 162 2 points further, so this is 162. So now let's draw at this point. So this is our first ray. The second ray would be at an angle of 162, which is this one. So now let's remove the D. So this is our angle 162 anti-clockwise, 162 degrees anti-clockwise. Let's name it M N O. So the angle can be named as MNO equals to 162 degrees, or angle N equals to 162 degrees. Let's draw 180-degree angle. So let's mark a point. Let's take it here. Okay, so if it's not specified, so it's anti-clockwise. So let's place our origin. Okay, we have placed our D. Now since it is also anti-clockwise, so the inner scale will be used. So let's point here, and 180 is all the way on this point. So let's draw. So this is the first ray, this is the other ray. So this is our angle. Let's remove the D. Now let's name it A, B, C. So this angle is from 0 to 180 degree. Since it makes a straight line, so this is also known as a straight line angle. So 180 degrees, you can name it or you can label it as angle B equals to 180 degrees, or a measure of angle ABC is equals to 180 degrees. So now we have 260 degree and 340 degrees. So let's start off. Let's select a point, let's say here, and now it's time to place RD. So here we go. Okay, now if you see here, so it ends at 180 degrees. There's no 260 here in this. So what we would do, since this is also anti-clockwise, so we'll have to use this inner scale. So from 0 till 180 we are on this point, but for the rest of the angles we'll rotate this like this, and we'll place this in the same way, the baseline and the origin coinciding with each other. Okay, 180 we have marked till 180, but if we subtract 260 from 180, then we will be left with, then 80 would be left. Now here we have, since our scale was limited to 180 degrees, so we measured 180 degree, and rest of the other 80 degrees we rotated the scale and measured it, so 80 degrees. So this whole thing becomes 260 degrees. Now let's draw. Okay, so our first line would start from this 0 point. So this is our first ray. Second ray would be till this point. The second ray would rotate till this point. So this is basically, this is the 260 degree angle, AOB. So this anti-clockwise angle is 260 degree, which is a positive angle, and if you measure on from this side, clockwise side, so it would be negative angle. Now let's start off with this 340 degrees angle. So let's take a point here. So now it's time to place the D. We have to make 340-degree angle. So I have placed the D here, so you know it that its limit is up till 180 degrees. So we need to rotate this. How much we need to measure more? So 340 degree minus 180, because we have already measured up till 180. Now how much more to go? That is to be subtracted. Okay, if you would subtract 180 from 340, then you would come to know how much more angles you need to make. 160 degree more. That means after rotation I need to measure 160 degree more. So now let's place it. Okay, now going 160 degree more on this side. So since we are going anti-clockwise, so inner scale is our scale. So 0, and from 0 to 160 degrees, so it would lie here. Our first ray would be at this point, which is basically a 0 point. The second ray would be at this point. So this angle is 180 degree up till here. 180 plus this is 160 degrees. So 180 plus 160 all together is 340 degrees, right? 340 degrees. So this was anti-clockwise. Now if I ask you to measure clockwise angle, then you would start from here, from the 0, and since clockwise angles are measured this outer scale, so let's measure from here and till here is 20 degrees. So this is clockwise 20 degrees and anti-clockwise 340 degrees. So this angle would be positive and this would be negative. So I hope you have understood. Now you are champion at measuring angles. So have a happy learning. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to the channel.